Morning all, how are we all doing? How is everybody this fine Tuesday? Morning, Forex Fire, morning, Paul, JC, morning, Evil, good morning, Bill, Harold, how are we all doing? Welcome, Baggy, new member, just joined. Welcome, Baggy, to the private streams. We will see you in an hour. Morning, Sarah. Yeah, it's Monday. No, it's not, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. And market's just opened. Let's see what's happened at the open. Brilliant, great, lovely, good start. Hedge on the DAX, marvelous, and a short break on the FTSE. One of the members, Alexander, is put quite a lot of posts in the members group in Discord today or yesterday about some strategy ideas. One of them is a really good idea, which I've been aware of for a while, and is there's a number of ways you can do it, but basically buying the stock market on Mondays and stuff and Tuesdays and things like that. And it's basically a timed exit strategy. So the theory is if the market has a down day on a Monday, you buy it. And if it has an up day on a Monday, you sell it. And at some point within the next couple of days, it will usually correct that initial movement, because the initial movement is caused by weekend action. And that weekend action is usually a knee-jerk reaction, which gets undone. So it's a theory that's been used a long time in the stock markets. I think it's something that Warren Buffett used to do as well, kind of the buy the dip strategy. But we might test that one out because it is quite a good strategy. There's a lot of research that he's posted about it. But the thing that worries me is it's some bloke selling a load of courses that's posted all the research. So quite often you find all that crap is curve fit. So I'll have a look at it. Might test that one out. And we got another strategy by Harold, who's in here, which I've built out now as well. So Harold's strategy, we have an EA ready to trade it. This is Harold's strategy using propulsion gap theory, which doesn't look too bad, actually. It's got potential, he says, as the P&L drops. I say it's got potential because it doesn't lose a lot of money. There's always a way you can improve strategies like that. So we'll have a look at that today. But I don't like the way that you're working on M1 with it. I can make it profitable on the hourly time frame or above. I can't make it profitable on any intraday time frames, but we'll look at that today. So that should be interesting. So today, live rooms today, by the way, if you're watching this on replay, comment if you need to, ask any questions. If there's anything you want to discuss in the live rooms, use the comment section. Today we're looking at, this week is price action week. Today we're looking at what a candlestick is telling you and the three possible outcomes of any candlestick, how to read price action basically. So every single one of these, what is it telling you? Why is it telling you that? And what can you do with that information? So it's basically all about reading candlesticks and the three main, well, there's only three outcomes of every candlestick. It's either bullish, bearish, or neutral. That's it. So we're going to be covering all that in the member streams today. News-wise today, there's nothing much. We've had the Australian monetary policy meeting minutes this morning, which we'll look at in a second. But apart from that, it's a no news day. So yesterday was a no news day. Today is a no news day as well. I got out of, for those of you that were in here yesterday, we looked at the Aussie New Zealand resistance bounce trade, which I said about I was going to take, which I took. So we hit resistance. And it bounced, so I'm out basically. Very, very nice, easy trade. So got in there, got out, done. Lovely, 0.75%. It's extended on the hourly RSI to the downside, which is why I'm out today, because it's a nice big drop. Obviously that was helped by the news. So if we go back to this morning. So overnight wise, nothing much else has happened. We've had a bit of news out of Kashkari last night, but nothing else really since yesterday of excitement. Middle East tension still bubbling. Where's the Aussies? Yeah, there was nothing actually impactive from what the Aussie said. If you look at the Aussie pairs today, though, obviously market down on the Australian dollar, so they didn't really like what was said, but nothing particularly dramatic. So commitments to tackle inflation remain firm. Lower inflation, a stagnation risk, gets core inflation to reach its goal sustainably. So nothing particularly excited, but market reacting negatively to it this morning. September rate cut, not a future guideline. So again, the Fed completely disagreeing with each other. You have one person coming out and saying we've got 0.5% rate cut coming. We've got another person that says 0.25% rate cut. We've got another person that says don't look at last month, it's got nothing to do with the future. Some of the banks and institutions are forecasting 0.5% in November. Some of them are forecasting 0.25% in November. It's a total, basically it's all coming down. We know the dollar is going to drop. We know the US interest rate is coming down. There doesn't seem to be any consensus whatsoever. So again, just another confirmation there of the nonsense that we get given all the time. There you go. Kugler coming out this morning. I will support additional rate cuts if progress on inflation continues as expected. If incoming data does not provide confidence of inflation moving towards 2%, slowing normalization may be appropriate. So basically saying if inflation comes down, we'll drop rates faster. If inflation doesn't come down as fast as we expect, we'll drop rates slower. Thanks for that, mate. That's basically economics you've just explained to us. Well done. So yeah, nothing particularly useful. So that's your news. Not a lot. A little bit dull. Morning, everybody else. Sarah said good morning to Dallas. Good evening from stormy South Coast Australia, Gold Coast Australia even. I've been there. It's forecast thunderstorms all day today. You'll be pleased to hear in the UK, where I am. Evening, Jules. Morning, Virginia. Segar. Jean-Roger. Morning. Right, so we're going to have a look at what's going on today. Not a very good clean break today. So if we're looking at Alexander's theory, the member that's posted in the members group, we should be looking to buy the DAX today. Just saying. So should have bought it at close yesterday, and today we should be looking for it to rally. There you go. So there you go. Looks like it's rallying. So target on the DAX hedge. That's the 5R target up here, which is a pretty good spot. So it's the sort of second high yesterday in that propulsion move, and it's within ADR, so that's my upside target. Downside target is a little bit trickier in the fact that we've got that level there which I drew, which is that one there. Let me just remove that a minute. So yeah, downside target a little bit trickier. 5R is here. ADR is basically that low. So I suspect we will find support here. We've just done the gap fill basically. So remember that gap fill that we looked at. I said we're probably going to come down and fill that gap fill at some point. We've just done it basically. So so there's a gap fill play. So gap is complete. So that frees up next leg up. So I doubt we'll get down there, but I'm going to put my targets down there today, which is going to be roughly 3R.5, yeah, about 3.5R ish, somewhere around there. So if we can get a push down to 3.5R to the downside, I'll get out. If we're pushing up, obviously 5R to the upside looks like a decent target. We'll see what happens with the FTSE. Give me one sec. Let me just shut something over here. It's all good. So this morning, ADR wise, we've got a few ADRs this morning. Euro odd has hit ADR to the upside. So if you zoom in and have a look at this, it is a bit of a broker candle at the open. So roughly quarter of an ADR of a gap down today. So that is around about ADR. Obviously, that's been caused by the Australian dollar drop. So there's potential short opportunity. I'm already short on Euro odd. So my initial entry was on the RSI extension there. and second entry gone in this morning. Why is that taking a trade there? Oh no, yeah, no, that's correct. That is where it should have taken a trade. Yeah. So basically, I have my filter set from 11 p.m. until 1 a.m. so it doesn't trade over the hour swap. So it's taken a trade for me based on that move there, which would have been a reversal alert on the lower time frame. So yeah, I've got 2 shorts on this already today. So it's pushed obviously very hard. Second entry's gone in. So we're at a nice rejection up here. Again, looking at price action this week. Price action looking bearish up here. So we got lovely big wick rejections to the upside going on at the moment. So bulls firmly in control. Firmly in control. Bears taking control. Bulls taking control. Bears fighting hard up here. So break of that low basically, which will be a reversal alert on the 5 or 15 minute time frame, will be a good short. So target to the downside for me on this one is going to be back down to that propulsion move at the moment. We'll see where it goes, but yeah, we're looking for a target down there. So there's a good ADR reversal. M5, you've already had an entry on this on M5. Sorry, no, you haven't. That's tell a lie. So that was the high. Well, I'm going to have to measure this one. Yeah, no, you haven't had an entry yet. So this is going to be your first reversal alert today. So if you're taking an ADR reversal on it, this is going to be your first reversal. So we never broke that downward move when we put that high in. So that would have been your support rectangle, which we bounced out of twice. So this is going to be the first reversal alert of the day. So short there. If you're going to take a single short ADR reversal, playing it back down into yesterday's high, which is the propulsion move started on the news. So that would be your target to the downside. Pound odd also extended. Again, Australian dollar news. Again, gap down here of roughly 25 pips. So that's just under a quarter of an ADR. We did push up to just under 125 ADR. So again, reversal alert wise on this one, you wouldn't have had an entry on it there. So that is going to be the entry today. So not a very good entry on this. It's just got into accumulation at the moment. So if you took that reversal alert, obviously you're going to run straight into potential support to the downside. So not a great entry on this one. But yeah. So there's your ADRs. That is also an hourly rate, an hourly RSI extension. So if you're taking 70-30 RSI extensions, you'll be getting in short on that anyway today. Target, I would say, would be that propulsion move down there. So that high. So those are your ADRs. Nothing's hit weekly range. Nothing has hit month. Oh, yeah, no, we have got a monthly as well. First monthly already. Where are we? 8th. So New Zealand dollar CAD. So I got into this one, New Zealand dollar CAD on Wednesday last week, which was embedded basically down here. So we had divergence in and this support level, which is what I was looking at. So this previous resistance turned support. Yeah. So I was looking for this area here to hold and push back up into propulsion. We didn't. We just accumulated for a day, and then we had the news go against us with the US dollar, and we're sitting down accumulating here. So second entry taken on that one. Average is in propulsion at the moment. So just going to readjust my target on this. So target is going to be 150 ADR to the upside, which is this area here, this propulsion gap. So see if we can get back up to there. We're going to need some news, obviously. Tomorrow is New Zealand news. So it's the rate announcement tomorrow morning. So that's what we're going to get some movement on the New Zealand dollar tomorrow. So the forecast is 4.75. If you look at the inflation figures for New Zealand, we're sitting at 3.3. It's still very, very high. It's coming down quickly, but when you get a fast drop in inflation, you tend to get a bounce, and then you get a drop and bounce, and it comes down like market structure. So dropping down to 4.75, I think is probably the right call for the New Zealanders. And then they will reassess what their next CPI number comes out at. if it is a continued drop, then obviously they will need to drop interest rates further. So I don't think we'll get more than forecast. However, you just never know. So the market, if you look at the New Zealand dollar pairs, has been factoring the drop in interest rates in already. So tomorrow, I wouldn't expect the market to collapse much. It may well continue a drop, but it's unlikely it will be able to sustain a drop because it's already factored the interest rate drops in. So it will probably want to do a profit take once it's figured out it's right, and then obviously continue that move at a later stage. All depends what the books are like in the banks, obviously, at the time. But as you can see, everything's been coming down New Zealand wise. Aussie, New Zealand coming up. This is one of the ways you can tell whether the Aussie or the New Zealand is the stronger, obviously. So so potentially big movements on that one tomorrow. So New Zealand dollar CAD, big extension to the downside. If you're not in this one, I think this is a 4-hour RSI extension. Yeah, so you've got 4-hour RSI extension as well. Depending on what RSI you're using and what level you're trading from, obviously you're either getting into or not getting into a signal down here. We've got a lovely monthly support coming up where you're going to find limit order triggers. My next entry is basically a test of that level. So yeah, looking like a pretty good pullback trade. You know, market's not going to be able to sustain that move for much longer, and if it does break down further, you're looking at a buyout of that propulsion move and obviously this area of support. So may need one or two more depending where the news takes it tomorrow. So that's your weekly hit. RSI extensions, there's loads. So 4-hour and hourly RSIs, lots of triggers yesterday. So the double exposed myself to the Aussie, long Aussie and Aussie Swiss. That's okay. If you're not overexposed if you've got 2 exposures on, in my opinion. But if you've got more than 2 exposures on, just make sure you're using a slightly lower risk. Aussie dollar CAD is extended at the moment on H4. Not quite down below the 20 level where I like it to be, but there's an opportunity for basically longs there as well. It's extended on the hourly too. So we've been down here before, and obviously we can see, you know, this is coming down. We've had some good strength on the CAD as well. So that's helped that down. We've broken down through a support. So this is kind of your next level, this weekly low. You're likely to find orders sitting at that level. We know we've got a lot of buyers in this area. So anything down to 175 ADR is potentially a continued drop on this. And obviously we've had weakness on the Aussie this morning, but there wasn't really a lot of Aussie weak news. It's just the market decided to react negatively to it this morning. So that one's RSI extensions. Aussie dollar Swiss, I've just taken a long on this one. I'm trading the Swiss. So yeah, hopefully this will work out. I got out of all the Aussie Swiss shorts yesterday. So the reason I like this one specifically is we've got a nice extension on the hourly. We nearly got down below the 20 level yesterday, and we've dropped further today, which means we've got divergence, which is bullish. Yeah, so we've got bullish divergence going on. On the 4-hour, we are right down there as well. But if you look at where we're approaching, it's probably easier to look at on a 4-hour chart. Oh, not on an hourly chart, rather. We've got this really nice resistance here. So we hit this level, which is this propulsion move down. The banks added more positions to it. They pulled back up into it. The banks added more positions to it. We pushed back up into it. The banks added more. The banks added more. The banks added more. And then we finally had some news which broke that level. So all the banks stop and reversed long at that point, which is what we've hit today. Yeah. So it's likely that this is a limit order trigger from all the banks that flip long on that move. The question is, because this is bang in the middle, we're going to cover this actually on in the members sessions on Thursday. Good and bad areas to enter a trade. I'm not practicing what I preach here because this is what I would class as a bad entry. But if the banks are still long on that move and they haven't exited that move and done all that business, they will be adding more here. So the problem with the Swiss, obviously, is the Swiss National Bank are manipulating their currency as they see fit. So I'm long on it, just because it's a really good support resistance. It's a 4-hour RSI, it's an hourly RSI, it's a support resistance bounce, and it's had a very, very strong drop. Yesterday's move was, I think, 150 ADR. I got out too soon on it, but we got 89 on a 60 ADR, so about 150 ADR ish. So big extension yesterday, and likely just a profit take move on that leg. So the question is, are we going to remain bullish on the Aussie? There's no reason why we wouldn't, because they're not dropping interest rates, so should continue to the upside. So we'll see what happens with that one. That's nicely extended on the 4-hour and the hourly. Aussie New Zealand is extended on the hourly. Obviously, I've just got out of that short, so it's basically the profit take move from that 4-hour RSI extension short at resistance, which was a previous support. Yeah, keep going on about support and resistance, but there is a reason it works. So yeah, that's out. I'm out of that one. There's an opportunity to go long if you want to on that here, just a mean reversion. To be honest, you'd be better off waiting if you can to get down into this propulsion move, and that is also an ADR extension, so it'll be exhausted today. That will be a much better entry. Aussie US, long on this, got 2 positions on this one. First entry taken yesterday here, which was seeing if we get a support bounce. That was an RSI extension. Yeah, so extended on the 4-hour. Below the 20 level, below the 20 level. So first entry taken on that one, very extended. We've managed to push down on the news this morning, so second entry's already gone in. Third entry for me is going to be beyond ADR in this propulsion move. So got 2 long on that. Very nice big drop. It's a 61.8 retracement on the previous leg. Yeah, so we're sitting at 61.8, 71.9 area. So this is a deep pullback or deep profit take. If we're going to remain bullish market structure wise, this is where we'd be looking to buy. So yeah, good looking long opportunity, nicely extended. So looking for a push up. I need to put some targets on that. I've achieved a goal apparently. Haven't done anything today exercise wise, so I'm not quite sure how, but anyway. So very easy target. In fact, I mean that area here, this obviously high of yesterday is this propulsion move, which we've obviously added to multiple times. Hey Harold, that's one of your trades. Yeah, so that would be the obvious target to push up into that area there. So target there for those 2 positions. However, depending on obviously what happens today, if we were to be sitting up here at ADR today, I may well just take that off because there's enough profit there to make it worth it. So nice quick in and out, holding for 2 days. Lovely. So I'll take that if it gets back up potentially into this area, but we'll see. Depends what the P&L's like with the rest of the trades I've got on. Euro odd. Short on that one. 2 orders on it. Target is propulsion. Yeah, so that orange line is something I've drawn. So yeah, I mean, it's just an area here. So we hit that high basically and rejected. So it's pushing back out of there potentially. So nice big long move up. Hourly RSI, we've got divergence, which is bearish. It's a 4-hour RSI extension as well. Not quite over the 80 level, but I need to get some exposure on. So short on that one, 2 positions, looking for a target back down at propulsion. On the hourly is there. So this area here, this previous day's high, we broke that yesterday and slammed through it. This morning they've added back in on this sort of move that came in yesterday afternoon in New York. So I'm assuming that basically that will form an area they will add more to if we get back down to it. So that's the reason I'm targeting there rather than any further down. Average is obviously just easy to achieve today. So we'll see what happens with today's price action. But good looking short opportunity. That's your ADR extension as well. So extended on the 4 hour, extended on the hourly, and it's an ADR hit today. So you've got confluence there, and also a previous resistance bounce potentially. Euro New Zealand, first short taken on that one yesterday. Just looking for a quick push back down into there. This is really extended. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, now 5 days solid up. Yeah. So there's a strategy, basically a really simple daily trading strategy called the 3 in a row. Yeah. I adapted it to be 5 in a row. Then I tested 7 in a row, 9 in a row, and plenty of other in a rows. But the in a row strategy is an exhaustion strategy. And it's basically very similar. You'll get very similar entries if you look at a 4 hour RSI. Yeah. So you'll get very similar entries if you get 3 to 5 days in a row. You typically get an RSI extension as well. So the reason I don't trade the 3 in a row or 5 in a row daily strategy is because I trade RSI mean reversion, which gives you pretty much the same entry. Like I keep saying, there's 1,000 strategies out there. They all fall into 3 categories. Yeah, they're mean reversion, their breakout, or their trend. That's it. So they're both the same strategy: exhaustion and pullback. So I'm in short on that. I was just looking at targeting on that because of the size of that move. I'll be watching this area here, which is about 125 ADR pullback. We're running into potentially today this support resistance area here. Yeah, so this previous support, propulsion moved through it, resistance, tested. Yeah, so for those of you that were in the member stream yesterday, where we were covering understanding how and why the market works, that is an exact example of what I was discussing, what I was explaining yesterday. Yeah, so pretty obvious. Yeah, banks, institutions, large short order to place, couldn't complete the order, added the second half, added the third, added more. Now when we get back here, we're going to find out if that order is complete or not. If that order is complete, we'll break through. If it's not, we'll add. Yeah, so same principle, just higher time frame, longer institutional movement. So yeah, lovely wick rejection, and again, we're going to cover this today. Yeah, bears taking control today, looking good. So good looking short opportunity. I'm short on that one. Watch this area here. So this is last week's high. This is the break of last week's high. We've retested it and bought it. So they are buying limit orders sitting at last week's high. If we hit last week's high again, you're going to find limit orders triggering. The volume of orders at that level will determine whether it breaks or it bounces. So wait and see, but the likelihood is we will test it. So watch this area. Profitable for me, that's going to be 500. That's 900. So that's pretty much twice the profit. But depending on what the P&L is, if I'm sitting there with 3 trades sitting at 500, I'm banking them. Yeah, so we'll see how that one goes. But that's nicely extended as well. 4 hour. You've got the pound odd was an hourly RSI extension. That's your ADR. We've already covered that. It's an ADR reversal, which seems to be stalling out nicely there. So you've got the reversal alert triggering. Oh, that's the one that hasn't triggered, isn't it? So yeah, it's just going into accumulation up there at the minute. New Zealand CAD, New Zealand Swiss just about extended on the hourlies. So New Zealand CAD we've already looked at. That is that monthly extension. So we've already done our monthly range. So the month began there. So that's last month's high. We've literally done the entire month's range already in the first week and a bit. So this is going to be pretty exhausted. So good looking long opportunity on that. I've got my average at ADR at the moment. If we come back down and test the previous month's low. So look at this. This is a great example of why elastic band theory works. It took an entire month for the market to climb the stairs. It's taken 8 days for it to fall down the elevator shaft. This is a typical profit take move. The banks and institutions build a book and they get themselves to a large profit and they take that profit quick. The reason it happens quick is because all the banks and institutions will be doing a similar thing. And when they see one bank or institution taking profit, they see their P&L drop. When they see their P&L drop, they also take profit. Multiple institutions taking profit at once creates a strong move. A strong move entices sellers into the market, which exacerbates the speed of the move. And that's why those moves happen. Yeah. So climbing the stairs, falling down the elevator shaft. Typical profit take move. After a profit take move of that extent, there are no more sellers available, so the buyers will take control of the market. Also, if this move here was legitimate and they will have not finished this move, they will add to this move. Again, what we were discussing yesterday, and add more volume. So good looking long on that one. New Zealand dollar Swiss also extended to the downside. Got a trade on that one, looking for a push up into previous week's low. Very similar to the Aussie Swiss. So I've got a little bit overexposed on this one because I took the Aussie Swiss today and I've got the EA on, and I've put the EA on to auto mode again to try and get some more exposure on, because I've looked back at last month and I missed a load of opportunities last month, and I looked at them and I was like, why didn't I take that? And it's because I was manually trading and doing other things, which is why automation is good, because it gets you into stuff that you don't see. So I'm in both of those. I got in the Aussie Swiss yesterday afternoon, and the the New Zealand Swiss yesterday afternoon. The Aussie Swiss triggered for me this morning. So I'm going to watch these two. I don't really want both of these on, I don't think, because we've got New Zealand news coming out tomorrow. So if one of these is in profit end of day, I'll probably just shut that one with whatever it's got. But New Zealand Swiss is another opportunity, same as the Aussie Swiss. New Zealand dollar, US dollar also extended to the downside. First entry gone on that. I love this trade. Again, same theory as before. Boom. Very big move to the downside. We've basically hit last month's low and they bought it up today. So I got into this one yesterday. This support here, and obviously it dipped through it there, but that was what we hit yesterday. Extended on the hourly yesterday. We got extended on the 4 hour, way below the 20 level. So that's the reason for my entry. It's on this. Whoops. This type of price action down here. Yeah, that sort of move. It's exactly the same trade. Look. Unfortunately, that one took me 4 entries because I got in here right at the beginning of the drop. But this one, we've got the advantage of having support on our side. So that support there is what worked. This support here is what I'm hoping works in this instance. If it doesn't, we're looking at support areas down here. That one specifically, which is 225 ADR. So you can see the next entry will be there. There'll be another entry down there. So I'd have 3 trades on, average there. By the time we hit that, we're massively extended way down here, and it will bounce back up into this area there. That's the play. But right now, I'm going to put a TP around about 125 ADR and just see if I can catch a quick bounce play off of that on the news tomorrow. Obviously, the news is going to do that or that tomorrow, one or the other. New Zealand US and New Zealand CAD, very similar. Okay, so again, a little bit overexposed on these because they're going to move in very much the same way. And US dollar CAD is the other 4 hour. This is really nicely extended as well. So I'm short on this from this morning, first entry. I'm getting close to taking second entry already today. So this one's powering away at the moment. So first entry was on the RSI extension here. Looks like I'm going to get second entry in at monthly high, which is holding. Again, I won't keep going on about it, but limit orders at, I'm going to cover this in more detail on Thursday's member session, but limit orders will be placed by banks and institutions at weekly and monthly levels, which is why we get bounces at weekly, monthly levels. Yeah, that didn't bounce there for any other reason than they broke that level. Everyone that was long flipped short, and when it got back there, they added more volume. Up here, everyone went short. They will be adding more volume. The volume here right now today is going to be different to the volume there. So if there are still enough interested parties shorting, they will do it again. So second entry is going to go in there today. First and second entry. Where's my MA gone? Uh, 15. Peach puff. I'm not going to use peach puff. Thistle. I'll go with thistle. So there's my entry. Yeah. So candle close above that high, which is going to happen in next 7-10 minutes. And then as soon as we close back down below MA, I'll be taking that bounce. You can see the limit orders, physically see the limit orders triggering. This is what we're going to cover today, price action, reading price action. That is telling me that there are limit orders at this high. That is telling me that there are limit orders at this high. Yeah, this candle is telling me there is still buying pressure. However, we've got an inside bar here. We're breaking out on an inside bar. If we don't break that high and we break that low, this thing's coming down like a brick, because the buyers will give up and the sellers, of which there is a mass volume at the moment, will take over. So good looking short. If it breaks that high, we're obviously going to bounce out, and then the move will exhaust because it won't be able to sustain it, because they're trying really hard to break that level. We are going to run out of buyers. Again, what we covered yesterday, there's a limited amount of buyers and sellers in banks and institutions. They will run out of volume and boom, will come flying back down again. So really nice embedding up there as well. So looks good for shorts. So first entry taken, second entry going in today. Average is going to jump up to there. Target will still be in that propulsion gap there. So at the moment, my target is here. Looking for it to push back down into there. I won't achieve that because I'm going to get a second entry, which means my average is going to jump to here, and this will become my target, or possibly this area actually. I might even probably just target here. So when the second order goes in, I'll be looking for a pull back down into there tomorrow. Hopefully. There we go. That's all your RSIs and ADRs. Loads of opportunities today. Morning, Agosa. Morning, World King Top 1. World King and 1 top. What are the grey lines? You can call them what you like. You're obviously an ICT follower, so yeah, you can call them FBGs if you want. They are basically propulsion gaps. I won't bark on about it, but ICT ripped off basically a guy who invented the wide range bar theory over 20 years ago, and he renamed them to FBG so he could sell a course. These are called propulsion gaps. They're called wide range bars. They're called fair value gaps. They're called whatever you want them to be, but they're basically a large bank order. Watching on my big screen trading desk station, updating setup while sick cat took over desk. Oh, how are you, Franco? Because you had problems, didn't you? Hopefully you're okay now, and hopefully your cat gets better. I feel like I've got a bit of a cold coming on. I woke up this morning with a bit of a headache and a bit of a, so there's a lot of it going about. We've got a lot of COVID going around in the UK at the moment. So many people I know have had COVID, and yeah, they're actually buying tests as well still. I may well have COVID. I'm not going to go out and spend £7 to find out whether it's a COVID or a cold. At the end of the day, does it make any difference? People are still spending money getting tests to find out whether it's COVID or not. Who cares? It's just a cold. Morning, Neo. So that's all I've got for you today. We've covered everything. There's loads of opportunities, loads of setups. Only thing I've closed out so far today is the Aussie New Zealand short, which was a nice, quick, easy in out yesterday. Nice reversal alert there. We didn't get a retest on it, but straight down and done. Feeling stronger. Glad I am hard to kill. That's good. Who did Hard to Kill? Was that Steven Seagal or Jackie Chan? Steven Seagal. The man, the myth, the fat legend. Good old Seagal. I used to love Seagal. Gutted. What a nightmare. Banked 160 on FTSE. That's really annoying. So obviously nice clean break down to 3R today. There's my target, look. So I've got a 2R trailer running. So basically we pushed down, missed target by that much, pulled back up, got taken out by my trailing stop at 1R. So have banked, which is good. And now it's carrying on back down, and I can guarantee it will be hitting my target next. So yeah, unfortunate stop out there. But, you know, if you use stops, that's what's going to happen. That's what they're there for. You're asking the market to exit you. It did, and it will, all the time. Every time you use a stop, I can guarantee with 100% certainty you will get stopped out, because you're asking to get stopped out. That's the whole point of putting the stop in place. Anyway, so yeah, there we go. Out of the DAX, out of the FTSE. DAX is hedged. Looks like it's going to be a loss morning. 160 banked, 327 hedging. So I'm down roughly 150 odd. So we'll see if we can get a push up or down today on the DAX. We've got no news, unfortunately, today. So the problem we've got, obviously, is when there's no news, the market movement tends to be a little less spiky. So we'll just have to wait and see. But that is a propulsion gap fill. So it does make sense for the DAX to rally today. The unfinished business is complete. So yeah, we might well rally away from that today. There we go. So that's all I've got for you today. This week in the members streams, we're doing, today we've got what a candlestick is telling you and the outcomes. Tomorrow we've got main candlestick patterns for reversals. And then on Thursday, we've got identifying good trading levels and when not to trade, which kind of is part of what tomorrow's session is, which is main candlestick patterns for reversals. Sort of price action at support resistance type theory. So I might tomorrow merge those two into one. I'll see how long the sessions last. And then on Friday, we've got targets for exiting price action trades and why they work, which is kind of in line with the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday session this week are all pretty much one subject. So I'm going to kind of just rattle into it and see how long it takes. If we get the whole lot done in a day, brilliant. It frees up Thursday and Friday for strategy development stuff. And we're also going to look at Harold's strategy today. And see if we can find a way of making Harold's strategy work, which is not too bad. I think I've got this set to 1R because I was testing strike rate. No, it is 1.5. So yeah, it's there you go, Harold. 100% strike rate so far. Boo. I tested this very, very briefly yesterday with trailing stop theory. One of the, remember last week we covered exit methods and we covered the contracting trailing stop. I tested that yesterday. And I think that's probably the best exit strategy for this, or end of day, because it's a propulsion strategy. Therefore, if the propulsion move doesn't continue, we want to be out. There's no point in taking a stop on it like that. There's no point in taking that stop loss. Yeah, we had profit, end of day. The propulsion move continued, we didn't take it. Same with that one. There's no point in taking that loss at all. Should be trailing it, I think. But we'll test some strategy ideas with it and see if we can find an edge. But I mean, this is your strategy variation that you gave me. But you'll notice the time frame I'm trading is not the 1 minute chart. So yeah, I think you'll find on the 1 minute chart you'll struggle long term. But the trouble with obviously testing 1 minute time frame is it will be here for a long time. Yeah, this is just one instrument. So there you go, 46 trades there, 58% strike rate. and profit factor of 2. But I think that can be improved. Also test on indices. It doesn't matter what the instrument is. This with this type of strategy, it's a propulsion strategy. It doesn't matter what instrument you're trading. The strategy either works or it doesn't. A propulsion strategy or a breakout strategy will work on any instrument at any time. So you can't go, oh, I'm going to only trade this on X. If it's propulsion, it should work on everything. There are mean reversion strategies and trend strategies, which we covered last week. They will be better on specific instruments, but breakout strategies should work on everything. So, but yeah, we can test it on indices as well. Yeah, we'll see. We'll have a play with it. But that's what we'll have a look at that today in the live stream, in the member stream in 10 minutes. Harold Franco, even thank you for the $2 tip. Thankful you still doing live streams. Good. I'm not planning on stopping. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. I shall go and spend that $2 on a coffee. JC, sorry to bother. That's okay. You can bother me. That's why I'm here. Would it be possible to show your DAX settings? So I'm just using I'm basically using default. I'm using default settings, pretty much default that comes with SIH. So targets are 3 and 5R, TP1 and 2. Minimum ranges are 10% and 20%. So I need a minimum of 10% for a range and a maximum of 20% for a range. That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Pound New Zealand. We have covered Pound New Zealand already, I think. No, we haven't. Yeah, Pound New Zealand is nothing to discuss, really. It's not doing anything. You could have had a short there on H1 if you're trading 70s. That was a nice resistance. You got nice resistance. You got a weekly, monthly, which we hit yesterday and triggered. But we slammed through that this morning on the news. I mean, that's a good short for me at the moment. Look. So this is the area the banks are selling at the minute. We've just tapped through it today and off of an extension. 4 hour might be extended, not quite. So yeah, we're in a range at the minute and you're at the high of the range. So short of the highs. If you break out, you've got this area here with 125 ADR as a backup. But no trades on that one for me at the moment. Found the issue. Cool. Did you get the second entry on US dollar CAD? Nope. I'm just going to put oh, bloody text all over my chart. Let me just get rid of that. Let me just get rid of this text. It's annoying, this text. I don't want it. Stops the buttons working, that text. I'm just going to put a sell stop in place here. So as JC's, no, who just pointed that out? Vitali. So obviously lovely wick rejection there at the monthly highs. So limit orders triggering there. They're stepping in, the sellers, adding more positions at last month's high. But obviously for me, this is the problem with EAs, yeah? And this is why I keep saying, as a trader, you have to be involved in trading. You can't just put something on your chart and expect it to make you money. It's not going to happen. Yeah. So the reason the EA hasn't taken a trade there is because the rules in the EA say that we have to have a close above that area, and then we have to have a close below a trigger, moving average in this case, to enter a trade. Price is pushed up through that level, but it hasn't closed above there. So we haven't got beyond the distance we've set as a minimum. So if you want to, you can move it down, but all you're doing then is curve fitting to this particular trade. So it's a getting manual for me at this one. So if it breaks this low, 15-minute, and closes down, I'll get into the second position. And obviously then if it goes, it'll add another one in. But yeah, if this pushes up from here, obviously that trailing stop will just move up with price, and then it will trigger at some point today. But I reckon it's probably going to trigger now because it looks nice and bearish, doesn't it, up there? Good price action. Good spot, Vitali. Did we cover Swiss yen? I don't think so. Nice rejection at the highs there, look. So yesterday we didn't manage to break last week's high. They sold it 3 times. They sold it again this morning. Not letting that through. So good short. It's not extended though. It's an accumulation break. So it's a range breakout trade. I used fixed lot sizes with SIH, reduces S percentage of equity. Yeah, I would always suggest percentage of equity. If you're only trading one instrument, and you find a lot size that you like, that's fine. But the problem is with SIH, there's target just about to get hit and got stopped out on that bloody trailer. Yeah, basically the range every day, if you use a fixed lot size is always based on risk. Yeah, so you can get in with a fixed lot size, that's fine, but your risk will be different every day depending on how wide the range is, i.e. how far away your spread, your hedge is, or your stop is. So when you use a percentage of equity, the risk that you take is always the same. If you risk 1% of your account, regardless of whether the initial opening range is there, or there, you're risking 1% of your account. If you use a fixed lot size of 0.5, for example, yeah, that is going to be a different amount of money to that, and that. So if you have a load of losing trades or a load of hedge trades where the hedge is really wide or the stop is really wide because the range is big, you're going to take a load of big losers. When you get your winning trade, if your winning trade is off of a tight range, your profit will be small, which is why you should always use percentage risk. For testing, it's good to use a fixed risk, but not a fixed lot. Yeah, and again, ADR at the moment on this instrument is 79. You're risking based on the average daily range of movement on this, a fixed lot size. If the ADR on this doubles, your risk potentially doubles. Whereas if you're using 1% risk over ADR, your risk is always related to the movement of the instrument you're trading. So you should always use ADR and you should always use percentage risk. Or fixed amount of money risk. Yeah. It doesn't have to be percentage risk, but a fixed amount of cash over a distance based on ADR is the best way to do it, because you're always going to be consistent. And all your testing will be consistent. Again, we covered in the members streams, strategy development, back testing techniques, always using a fixed risk is the best way to test. Because if you build an account, got to be careful because we're going to run over again. But if you build an account, your equity curve goes like this, yeah, and your strategy hits its losing run here, yeah, the amount you're risking and the amount you're losing here is exponentially larger than if you'd have hit your losing run here. you'd have lost a small amount of money here. But here you lost a big amount of money and it wiped out all the profit you'd made with the smaller risk trades. If you risk exactly the same amount of money, 100 over whatever, all the way, it tells you the exact outcome of that strategy, not basically with a variable risk. A variable risk will never give you a profitable backtest that will work in the future. Because if, and again, one of the strategies that Alexander posted in the group was, it showed a equity curve on it. Oh no, it was on the website. Hang on. Yeah. So this equity curve, yeah, I looked at it and I was like, that's terrible. Can anybody tell me why that is a terrible equity curve? They're saying this is good. And this immediately sets alarm bells ringing for me. Anybody, any of the members in the live stream from last week know why that is a bad equity curve? Might look good on paper, right? They're saying, hey, look, this made 300 grand over 25 years. Good. It's all gone quiet. Like, nobody wants to say anything. The reason this is a bad equity curve, no drawdown taken. No, there is drawdown taken, but the reason it's a bad equity curve is because of that, the bell curve. Yeah. All strategies have outliers. Yeah. Outliers, the probability of outliers, and I always do this, and I always make it look phallic. Outliers, I'm not going to draw the balls, basically are very unlikely to be reproduced in the future. These are either big wins or big losses. I've done it again, right? Look at the equity curve on this. What a lucky run. What a lucky run. Take away the lucky run. What have you got? Yeah. So take out that, which is 60K, because it was lucky. Take out this 40K, because it was lucky. That actually produced 200K profit in 25 years, not 300K. Yeah. Not a good equity curve at all. It's too much. It's too lucky. Yeah. What this is, well, actually not that, but what that could be is COVID. Okay, so we've had an up day, this strategy. We've an up day on the DAX, so we're going to sell it. The day before COVID crash. Boom. Wow, we just made 50K. No, you just had a pandemic hit the market and a flash crash. That ain't going to happen again in the next 4 years. So the strategy that's made you 50K is just a coin flip. You've got to remove outliers. Doesn't work. So big alarm bells already ringing on this one as soon as I saw the profit curve. But we'll test it. We'll see. It might work, might not. We'll do that in the member stream. Not today because I haven't got time. But anyway. Too much stagnation? Yeah. Also, Vitali, yeah, there is a lot of stagnation in it. That's not a bad thing. It's just not desirable. So, right. Only trade I'm in is US dollar CAD long since Thursday. Enjoy your bigger gains working on 4 hour. Enjoying bigger gains working on 4 hour. Good man. US dollar CAD from Thursday. You're long. Good man. I've just gone short from yesterday. So I'm hoping that you're going to get out. There goes. Trade taken. Average in. Down. So target is now I'm just adjusting target now while I'm on before I forget. There we go. So targeting propulsion with an ADR. Right, I'll leave it there because I've got to go and do the member streams. So any of you guys that are coming into the member streams, see you in a minute. About 5 minutes because I have to wait for this stream to finish before I can start a new one. If you're not coming into the member streams, why not? Just realized that I need to cancel that because it has actually taken a trade for me. So yeah, if you're not coming to the streams, why not press the join button, come in, join the fun. I will see you tomorrow, same time, 8 o'clock. We'll have a look at what's going on with the news. So be aware of this tomorrow morning. By the time I come on tomorrow, that will have hit. So New Zealand dollar, if you've got any exposure on end of day today, just be careful. If you've got profit on the New Zealand, bank it, because if it goes to drawdown, you can't get it back. If it goes up, you're lucky. So bank it if you can. All right, so any of you that are coming into the members streams, we're looking at candlesticks in detail, and I will see you guys then. All right, have a good day.